Paku. Episode 1. The Gleam by the Banyan. Paku had just turned 11. He had recently moved up from class 4 to class 5. And he felt a thrill of excitement. He thought about how big he had grown. He had just been admitted to new convent school. His father had taken him and completed the admission formalities yesterday. The school was huge. The thought of studying there filled Paku with adventure. The principal madam had spoken to him with a smile, even calling him a good boy for answering all her questions correctly. Paku had a wonderful time. Afterwards, he and his father enjoyed an ice cream. That night, he dreamed. He was in school, surrounded by countless new friends. They were playing all sorts of games together. The next morning, he recounted everything to his mother, his heart brimming with joy. Avinash Sanyal, the new block development officer for the region, had been transferred here only a month ago. Their small family consisted of just three: himself, his wife Soudamini, and their young son Paku. It was what one would call a perfectly ideal and happy family. Last year, his father Sri Umashankar Sanyal had passed away. The late officer was a formidable police officer in his time. It was said that even the tiger and cow drank water from the same ghat when he was around, a testament to his unchallenged authority. Avinash Babu had conducted the Shraddha with great ceremony. Paku had never seen so many people gathered in one place before. He was sad. His grandfather was gone, but he also held a quiet buried resentment. Grandfather had promised to take him to Darjeeling when he returned home, but never kept his word. Every night, Paku would peek into his grandfather's room, but it was empty. Normally, his grandpa would call out Dadu Bhai and lift him onto his lap for storytelling. But there was no one now. Paku had cried bitterly that day. Even today, he often misses his grandfather and his heart sinks. It had been raining heavily since morning. Paku's mother, Soudamini Devi, was busy cooking in the kitchen. Paku sat on the veranda, tinkering with these toys and contemplating which game to play. He picked up a card, then decided, "No, I played with this yesterday. Something else today?" He put the car back in the box. He did the same with a bat and then a large toy gun. Paku just was not in mood to play. He yearned for something different. As he pondered, his mother called out, "Babu, come eat." "Yes, ma, I'm coming," Paku replied, but did not move. He did this every day, usually forcing his exasperated mother to drag him by the ear to the dining table. But today was different. Something had caught Paku's eye. He stared intently at the trunk of the giant banyan tree. By the well, something was glittering. He stood up, but it was raining. How could he go? Let it pour, Paku thought to himself. He ran out into the rain and stood under the banyan tree. Kneeling, he looked closely at the shiny object. Something seemed to be peeking out from the gap in the tree's trunk. Paku was about to reach out and pull it free when "Paku!" Soudamini Devi screamed. Paku turned around. Soudamini Devi was in fury. A shadow of a fear clouded Paku's heart. He knew he was in for a beating. Even his father was wary of his mother in this form. He slowly got up, his hands covered in mud. Soudamini Devi's eyes fixed on the mud. She glared at him. "You naughty, wicked, ill-mannered boy! You have ruined your clothes. You were standing here in the rain, playing with mud. I called you for food, and you are getting soaked. Just wait until your father comes home. You will see." "No, ma, there was something there, something shiny," Paku stammered, tear welling up in his eyes. Soudamini Devi grabbed his ear and dragged him along, muttering, "Nonsense! My fate to deal with this. First, you will take a proper bath with soap and then I will feed you. Paku, headboard, walked with his mother, yet his mind was still filled with curiosity about the shiny object. He vowed he would go back to see what it was inside. His mother took him straight to the bathroom for a thorough wash, then served him his meal. She had cooked a fish today, moong dal with katla fish head, pui shak chorchori with shrimp, katla fish curry, bitter gourd and eggplant fry, cauliflower curry and more. She mixed the food and fed Paku one item at a time. He showed reluctance when it came to bitter gourd and eggplant fry, but a fierce glare from Soudamini Devi made him eat it like a good boy. After the meal, she washed his face, tucked him into the bed, and returned to his chores. Lying in bed, Paku could only think of the glittering object. He decided he would look for it tomorrow. Oh, wait, tomorrow was his first day of school. Since his father's transfer, they had been living in this friendless place, leaving all his old buddies behind. Yes, the people here were nice, but his previous home was different. He had a huge field and so many friends. His best friend, Shamiran, was one of them. They used to play cricket and football together. The day Paku's family was leaving, Shamiran had come to see them off. He started forlornly at Paku. Paku had cried too. Soudamini Devi and Shamiran's mother Pravati auntie had both embraced the boys. So many days have passed since then. He didn't know what Shamiran was doing. Perhaps Shamiran had new best friend now, just as Paku would have new friends starting tomorrow. Paku drifted off to sleep. The board read, Blossom Secondary School. They entered through a massive gate. Inside there was a huge field, followed by a school building, clean, orderly, and well maintained. The school grounds were filled with greenery. The branches intervened, forming a canopy that covered the entire area, wafting a pleasant scent. They walked up the stairs to the second floor. The classroom next to the stairs was class 5. Avinash Babu and Paku entered. Paku sat down at one of the rows of tables and chairs, while Avinash Babu stood nearby. One by one, the other students arrived. Soon, the room was buzzing with voices. Avinash Babu stepped outside the classroom. A little while later, the principal madam arrived. Ah, Avinash Babu, how are you? Has your son come? Where is he? The principal asked. Yes, I am well, thank you. And you? My son is sitting right there, Avinash Babu replied, pointing toward Paku. The principal turned, smiled lightly, and asked Paku, How are you feeling? Good? Yes, good. Paku nodded and gave a slight smile. Your son is very jolly. That's a good sign. It's good to be that way, the principal commented. He's quite mischievous. Avinash Babu laughed. That's perfectly fine. A little mischief doesn't hurt. The principal smiled too. You may leave now. Please pick him up at exactly 4 p.m. The principal told Avinash Babu. So Baba, shall I leave? Yes, Paku replied. Paku made many new friends at school. He became particularly close with a boy named Ashok, who sat right next to him. The most exciting thing was that they lived in the same locality. Paku had a great time on the way back. They rode together in his father's car, and Paku even got to see Ashok's house. It wasn't very big, but it was elegant and felt very homely. It was a bit like old houses, with exposed wooden beams in the ceiling, very high rooms, and thick sturdy teakwood doors that made you feel small when you stood in the front of them. He later learned from his father that they were made of teak. At school, everyone called him Snehashis, his given name, not Paku, which was his pet name. His grandmother used to call him that affectionately, and the name stuck. His grandma is gone now. She was simple, sweet, a bit naive, and did not understand modern things. But she loved everyone with the affection of a mother. Paku remembered her holding him all night when he had a fever as a child. She is gone now. Paku sometimes wonders, where does everyone go after death? He never got an answer. He first asked himself this question when his grandma passed away. He was very young, only 5, that day. He had seen his strong mountain of a grandfather weep like a child. And now the grandfather is gone too. Perhaps everything ends this way. It was Sunday. Paku woke up a little late. While brushing his teeth, he surveyed the whole house, the yard, and the nearby bushes. His eyes fell once again on the trunk of the banyan tree. Yes, something was glittering again. Paku froze, his toothbrush still in his mouth. He stared intently at the trunk, as if an invisible magnet held him captive. He looked left and right, then he walked up to the tree, knelt down. He started digging the soil with his hand. After a short while, a small, very old brush pot appeared. It was shining brightly. He thought he should show it to his mother. With that thought, he ran inside the house but could not find her. So, he hid it in his toy box. As his mother returned after her bath, Paku said, "Ma, I found something. Want to see?" "Show me later, dear. It's time for my prayers now. You go take a bath. Then you have to eat, right? I cooked mutton today." Hearing this, Paku was thrilled. He ran smiling to the bathroom. The bathroom was quite large, with a high ceiling, 2 taps, and a well-mounted shower. Paku always showered when he was alone, as the shower handle was low enough for him to reach. He bathed happily. Today was no exception. He rushed out of the bath, jumped onto the bed with wet feet, and put on his clothes. He bounced on the bed with a thud. Then he turned on the TV. He was going to watch Tom and Jerry. He enjoyed the antics of a cat and mouse and watched it every day. Sitting down for lunch, he saw his mother had prepared huge spread: mutton curry, masoor dal, fried potatoes, fish curry, chutney, papad, and more. He could never eat this much, but his mother always insisted and fed him. Today was no different. His mother fed him every single dish. Paku dared not to object. After eating, Paku didn't wait. He lapped up, ran outside, and was gone.